What's up, guys and gals? Danny Lightning here, and I'm going to give you some really quick EQ advice. I see a lot of people making mistakes on EQing, and they're doing it very, very wrong when it comes to EQing a speaking voice. If you want to make sure you can really hear all of the differences, make sure you're listening to this on a set of really good headphones or a set of studio monitors. This should really help you understand why and how to EQ a human speaking voice and the reasons we do it and the reasons not to do it. Currently, I have the EQ turned on, and you're going to notice my voice is nice, it's clean, it's clear, it's easy to understand. But let me go ahead and turn this off, which you're going to do right now. Now we have the EQ off, and you're probably going to notice my voice doesn't sound as clean, as clear, and it might even sound slightly muffled compared to what it sounded like a second ago. All we've really done here is cut off the low frequencies lower than the human voice. That way we get rid of any of those room sounds or room rumbles. Then we've made a couple of cuts for bad frequencies. Let me go ahead and turn the EQ back on. And now I should be a little bit easier to understand. I should be cleaner and I should be clearer. So if you look at where my mouse is right here, this is a nasty bass resonating frequency that kind of sounds like whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me turn that up so you can actually hear what that does. Whoops, I'm turning the wrong thing up. Let me go ahead and turn that up. So if I crank this up, you're definitely going to hear some really bad resonance. You're going to hear that and you're going to be like, ooh, that's nasty. So we want to cut that out of there. That's going to make my voice sound muffled and much harder to understand. So we're only going to drop that down by roughly 2 decibels, and that's it. Now, if I move over here, there's a little bit of a boxier frequency. If I boost this up, you're going to notice that that frequency right here sounds pretty boxy, and that doesn't sound great. So we want to cut that down by 2 decibels. You don't want to cut too many things, right? A lot of people who don't know what they're doing will just overdo this. They'll have 34 cuts and it's going to sound awful. But you just want to find those 2 or 3 or 4 really, really, really bad ones and just reduce them by 2 or 3 decibels, and that's it. Now over here on the right hand side, we have a 1 decibel presence boost, and then we have a 3 decibel air boost to add a little bit of presence in those nice air frequencies. And when you cut off the bass, get rid of a couple of bad frequencies and boost the highs just a little bit, that will make your voice more intelligible. It'll be a lot easier to understand, and it won't sound muffled, especially if you got like music or game sounds going in the background and your voice is competing with those. You want to make sure you get rid of those low end, because some of those bassy frequencies can actually make your voice sound muffled and harder to understand. Let me go ahead and turn the EQ off again. So right now, there's no EQ. Let me go ahead and make sure I reset this too. But right now, there's no EQ at all. And my voice definitely sounds a little bit more muffled. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I've seen is people saying boost the bass by 6 decibels, boost the treble by 6 decibels. Then they tell you to pull down the mid-range by 6 decibels, and listen to how awful this sounds. Let me go ahead and do that right now. I've seen so many people to say to EQ your voice like this. This is what it sounds like, and this sounds 100% terrible. I've seen about 1 million YouTube videos where they say boost the bass, boost the treble, pull down the mids, and this is the awful mess you're going to get if you take that advice. Do not do this. Even boosting the bass up like this can make my voice sound so much harder to understand, and there's just a bunch of muddy frequencies making it sound muffled. But if you seriously go from something like this to turning the EQ off completely, there's no EQ. That sounds so much better, it's not even funny. Don't take bad EQ advice from people, or you're going to get crap like that. It's going to sound awful. Let me show you how to find the bad frequencies. Now, unfortunately, every single frequency is going to sound bad. You have to find the ones that are resonant, not just the frequencies that sound bad. You want to hear a whistle or something that hurts your ears, or just a wah, wah, wah bassy frequency. So let me start going slowly through here while I talk. You're going to notice as I move over, right now you're probably not hearing a whole lot because there's not a lot of information on the human voice where I'm at now. As I move this over to the right, now we're probably going to start hearing some bad stuff. Now you will notice almost every one of these frequencies is going to start to sound bad, but when you hit a certain one, you're definitely going to hear like a resonance. You're listening for a resonance, not just something that sounds bad. You're just trying to find the resonating, boxier, more harsh frequencies that hurt your ears, or just kind of have a bassy wah 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 sound going to them, and just go all the way across. Normally you want to try and find the 2 or 3 or 4 worst ones. You don't really want to do too many cuts, because if you do too many, I'll show you what happens in a second. A lot of people find all the bad frequencies and cut them all out. Now, if I were to try and do this to every single frequency that sounds bad, I would have something that sounds like this, and then when I turn the EQ off, you're going to be like, oh wow, this sounds so much better than what you just heard a second ago. So you don't want to find too many bad frequencies. That's one of the big mistakes a lot of people do when trying the subtractive EQ, is they cut out way too many frequencies. Alright, so let me go ahead and put some game audio and a music track playing on the background, and then I'm going to start turning this EQ on and off. And you're going to notice my voice is so much easier to understand when I turn the EQ on, when it's fighting with the background sound. So right now we have the EQ on, and there's definitely a lot of music and background noise. Let me turn that off. And now I probably do sound a lot more muffled. You're probably noticing, hey, I can't really understand him as well. My voice sounds more buried between the music and the game sounds. And let's go ahead and turn the EQ back on. And right now it's probably so much easier to understand my voice. It's probably not even funny. So just that little teeny bit of EQ, removing those low unwanted frequencies that make you sound muddy and muffled, and then boosting the high end just a little bit, really just brings my voice up and out and above. I mean, we don't have anything going on other than the EQ. There's no compression, no nothing, just the very, very, very basics. A very simple amount of EQ just to make your voice easier to understand is all we're trying to do. So bottom line is, the only reason we need to EQ a speaking voice should be to get rid of those muddy bassy frequencies which make your voice harder to understand, find any nasty resonating frequencies which can kind of fatigue the listener's ears, get rid of those, and then maybe boost the high end up if you don't already have a high-pitched voice, just to bring your voice up and above a little bit. But you do not want to boost a really high-pitched voice, especially if you already got a high-pitched microphone. For example, this is a pretty natural flat-sounding microphone, so you might only want to boost the highs by 1 decibel or 2 decibels. Or if you got a darker microphone, you might actually want to boost them by 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 decibels. So you gotta just kind of go by your voice and your microphone. But if you're trying to change the way your microphone sounds because you're not happy with the way it sounds, you're doing something wrong. There's a problem with your room or your recording, or just the microphone doesn't fit your voice or something like that. We're not trying to change the sound of our microphone. We are just trying to fix problems and make the voice intelligible so people can understand you easily and you don't fatigue people's ears. So that's really all there is to it. There's my little why we're EQing our voice tutorial, and that gives you a few tricks and tips and all that good stuff. So yeah, hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Check out the pinned comment or the video's description. There's some affiliate links in there, some ways to help the channel where you can get a bunch of cool stuff and whatnot. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. Lightning out. See ya. Thanks for watching my video. I hate to say, but it's time to go. Maybe you could watch another one. That might be really fun. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks for